Hi, my name is Jayna Stewart and I'm Unity's campaign advisor.
Hi, my name's Sarah Tarver and I'm Unity's policy collaborator.
Today we will be uncovering the untold stories that a lot of people do not hint about or talk about during student government and what actually needs to happen within this organization on LSU's campus.
Hi, my name's Sarah Tarver. I'm a sophomore medicinal plants major in the College of Agriculture, and I've been involved in student government since freshman year. At first I participated in FLC, and then I was part of the Envision campaign, and this year I'm a huge part of the Unity campaign, and I also hold college council vice president with the College of Agriculture.
My name is Jayna Stewart and I'm a senior here at LSU majoring in leadership and human resource development. I started my student government role as an FLC leader as well, like Sarah, and I am now in student government as the Department of SAS. I also hold many other roles in different departments on campus, and I've also been involved in the Envision campaign, and now I hold a huge heart towards Unity. I think that the main thing that actually happens within student government at LSU is that a lot of people are not physically in there. They think they're a part of student government, and I think that that's the problem or the root cause of a lot of the structure that we have on campus, where different problems actually filter out through. It's always the same leaders, it's always the same people who are showing their faces, but they're not actually tangibly doing things for those who do not have voices on campus, for those minorities, for those organizations that actually cannot, have a bigger voice for themselves to speak up for what they need. I think that that's one huge problem that that is right now at student government.
My experience with student government has been very, I guess on the surface it looks great, but then it's like whenever I try and look like a little bit deeper, I just see a lot of students that are title claiming, a lot of students that SG on the surface looks very polished as quote unquote the largest student government student organization on campus, yet whenever you look closer there's not actual work being done. And I just see there being a lot of potential, specifically through our policy plans, to expand our administration positions. So like Jayna, working with Student Auxiliary Services, has been taking a lot on her plate to correlate with the Tiger Card office, the food pantry,
and Res Life just in general. I think that other departments, they don't really take student government seriously. I've heard a lot of people Senate, even in general, they will create these resolutions and think that that's going to modify or magically wand and fix everything, but a resolution is only a recommendation. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a band-aid over something. It's not actually tangibly fixing something.
And that's definitely what I've seen lacking in student government too, is manpower, which is really redundant in a way because we are the largest student organization on campus, yet we don't have positions open to recruiting new students. It's just if you get in through FLC or if you get in through election season, that's it, you're in. But then after that, there's no recruiting new students. And I feel like that's just very ineffective for actually creating change on campus. So through our departments, I feel that there needs to be open positions for whenever there's a initiative needed to be done on campus, those students can come and be like, hey, we want to install a water fountain in Himes. And they have the resources and the leadership through Jayna and an appointed director basically to lead them to be able to get that initiative done, to where Jayna's not the one actually having to go out and do everything. She's mostly just the bigger picture.
Most definitely. And I think that what we saw at the Black LSU student debate as well is that a lot of people, they were furious about what tangibly is being done through that department. A lot of the person who used to be in student government, she quit. She quit her department. She quit being the director of diversity only because tangible things were not being done for those people, for Black LSU, for the people of color and minorities that needed to be spoken up and actually spoken to. And so it's, when is it going to change? How do we change? How do we get out of this vicious cycle of it's always the same person every single time? You already hypothetically know who's going to win every single time. What about the people who want their voice to actually be heard, not the people who are actually talking nothing at all?
And I think that's the biggest difference that I saw in Unity and why I joined, was because at the end of the day, student government goes past active campaign week, yet we haven't been able to see that actually come into fruition in years. I mean, I'd say a decade, but I've only been on campus for 2 years. And it's just very difficult for someone to get elected into office without having attainable and reachable goals, like specifically with SMART goals, and just having a game plan and not necessarily just saying things to get done, but actually being like, I'm going to spend the time doing it. Because that's what I definitely don't see in student government. I see a lot of people saying they want to get things done, but not recruiting the manpower that they need to get it done. So through that, I mean, why not expand our executive positions to like include 5 to 10 additional people? Why isn't our comms department made up of 20 people with a videography department, a graphics department, a political relations department like with Senate,
Yes.
and then with college council just on updates, but
Yes.
then there could also be someone who's a rep with LSU Tiger TV,
Yes.
and like getting that out to the student body, and then another rep with the LSU Reveille,
Yes.
and then there's a comms director, but they're mostly just overseeing like, this is our agenda,
Yes.
this is how we need to get it done, hey, can you do this for me, rather than them being overloaded.
Yes.
And I mean, that's the thing, is like, I don't know why are we not pushing to expand SG more? You know, I feel like that's the biggest thing with Unity.
I think that Unity also, we mean better for the people together. And I think that that's one thing, or a concept that has not been developed yet within LSU's culture. We see this all the time. It's very political within the student government body. You know, you can relate it way back to even right now the national presidency, about how much we fight between of what we need over what we deserve, or what students deserve. You know, you saw this today with the Title IX, incident about, like, what do students need and what should students deserve. We don't need anyone to actively advocate for us. We need somebody to actively advocate and do for us, because we're just one person, and however many students are on campus, that's not enough. We need to stand together in unity and in solidarity to actually make a change for a difference.
Yeah, and that's what I think. It's really funny because I was not originally, like, this campaign season, I had a very bad taste in my mouth with student government last year. I did not anticipate getting involved, and then I also really wanted to make sure, like, okay, like, I'm still going to support a ticket, and I was looking at some of the bigger tickets, and then I had such a realization whenever I sat down with Amina and Preston firsthand, and I just realized, like, they are unbiased and like, they're nonpartisan, like, they are here just for the students, without, like, they're for taking other campaigns, and even if those campaigns don't win, and putting them on their staff. They're for opening up and bringing new students into student government, and that's something, like, I see that's really makes Unity stand apart, is that they are not playing into active campaign week.
Right.
I see student government campaigns that are ripping each other apart, that are turning students against each other, that will not be able to work with each other past March, whenever election day is. And I just really see Unity staying true to their character, and I know that's going to stay true within their administration.
Your time right now is to actually advocate and actually be the voice for those students who actually need it the most. Those students who were accountable for who was a part of the Title IX Act, those students who are underrepresented, and those students who are people of color and who are minorities that don't feel like they have a voice on campus. Those students who are trying their hardest to actually advocate and support, grow their organization to make it better for themselves and make it better for their careers in the next future generations of LSU. I think that Unity can actually do that and actually support those students, those organizations, and actually support the mission and goal of just LSU commitment to community, and actually giving the tangible results that we all need to see within a organization, within a candidacy, and also within people in general.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is like, I really know that if Amina and Preston were elected, that I would be able to call upon them at any time and be able to have a face-to-face conversation with them. Yet right now I can't even call upon the student body president or student body vice president, and I'm a college council vice president.
Currently right now within student government, you have the executive board, you have Senate, and then you have the judicial branch. I think that this is a horrible, non-communicative piece of framework that needs to be restructured and redesigned in order to actually communicate and advocate for all students on campus. It is equivalent to what is happening in today's national presidency, where there are different people fighting for different things, and those aren't listening to other people.
Yeah. So right now with student government, there are the 3 branches, but where I see is a lack of communication among the branches. I think that the judicial branch does an outstanding job just doing their own thing, but why are we not hearing about their cases in the Reveille or on Tiger TV? Why is the executive communications department not have multiple representatives within each branch? And then also within like I just feel like the comms department could easily be expanded to include 25 students. And those students could be encouraged to join student government with perhaps a letter of recommendation on their behalf after the end of the year based on their performance. I think that would be a great way to recruit new students. I think that Senate also does an outstanding job at creating very progressive and reformative legislation, but where I don't see that is coming into fruition. The senators' jobs are to make legislation, therefore the executive branch needs to come up on the other side and put those bills and initiatives into process.
Yes.
Same thing with FLC. I think it's great that we are getting freshman students involved, and then they become in essence almost a 4-year member of SG. But why are juniors, seniors, sophomores not allowed to join student government with their own initiatives later? And I feel that by expanding the different departments, because we have so many, by expanding the diversity department to have more at-large members who are able to push their own initiatives on problems that they see on campus, but then also, why not open up a president's cabinet to allow different Black student organizations, Native American student organizations, Hispanic student organizations, all these different student orgs are doing the work on campus. They just don't necessarily have the funding or necessarily the resources and relationships across campus to be reaching outside of themselves. So why not, whenever the diversity committee has their weekly meeting, that those student orgs are also included, and it overall just opens communication to where it's not just student government going out, but it allows feedback back in.
Most definitely. I think that those doors that, like you said, that need to be opened, they are not being opened only because student government has now created that scary space for people to even just get involved or to talk about. It's like one of these hush rules that, oh, she's in student government or they're in student government, so they are the top and they're the elite, and that you can trust everything that they say.
It's a very toxic culture. And that's something I've reached out to other student organizations on campus trying to drive. Okay, for instance, being vice president of the College of Agriculture, we have a lot of natural science-based clubs, horticulture club, forestry club, and of course that's within the College of Ag, but I also know that there's Go Green and different sustainability clubs on campus, and just making sure that those club presidents have each other's contact information to where they can have volunteer events, like at the Arboretum, like at Burden Rural Life Museum, just 5 minutes off campus. It's just a lot of just putting things into effect and into actually getting done, and that's why I think some of the other candidates are misleading by saying, oh, I need to go fix LSU. No, the resources in student government are there. We just have to open the pathways of communication and also recruit more students into student government.
Yes, and I think that a lot of students who are already enrolled at LSU, they do not understand that their money, their tuition actually goes into student government. So that is why student government is the largest organization on campus, because your money is actually utilized into the student government fees, the student government resources, and so make your voice be heard. You know, you paid for this. You actually tangibly want to say something because you're paying for it. You are funding it. You are funding basically currently nothing, because we currently don't know how to utilize that.
How to allocate money.
Yeah, how to allocate it, how to actually develop, different tools and ideas for others who can actually tangibly use them effectively. We don't need another branch on campus. We don't need another tree. We don't need that. We need people to actually, we don't need another.
We need to provide funding for a lot of these clubs, because a lot of these clubs have to host their own fundraisers in order to sustain themselves, when in fact there's student government funding eligible for them that they don't even know about. student government's not adult faculty government. Like, it's student government. It's the time to really showcase, dang, like, these students are killing it. Like, oh, you hosted your own can drive, like, raised $10,000 for the food bank. Like, dang, let's show you off. Not like, let's call the food bank and get them to speak. Like, no, that defeats the purpose.
Yeah, we don't need any more advocating from other people who already have their degrees, other people who already make enough money, other people who are not contributing their money, their funds to those, you know, like, you know, those organizations that actually need our help. Our food pantry needs the money, you know. Our food pantry deserves, you know, especially, you know, different things that on campus that they need. I think that, you know, a lot of that's just showcasing, that's just showing. It's not actually telling a tangible story.
I truly ask, like, pick your battles smart. You only have a year to create change. And I feel like a lot of these bigger picture things are things that faculty are being paid to do, and that's their job, and our job is just to make campus there for the students. Why are there not more microwaves in the union or PFT for commuter students? Like, little things like that. Like, that's what matters. That's what I need to see as a commuter student, not you going and running to John Bell to be like, oh, you need to do this with your tuition. I need microwaves in the union. Like, why are they not there? I'm hungry.
Heat up her hot pot.
I need to heat up my lunch that I bring from home. Commuter students.
And not a commuter week, not a commuter day.
No, it needs to be an everyday thing. Or, like, I don't know, some more of those cool water fountains that, like, do the water straight down. Yeah. Let's think, just little things to improve student life. Like,
it matters.
It does matter, because how many times do you walk around campus feeling like a number? Because there's got to be little bitty angels of student government out there doing the work. But right now, their wings are clipped, and we need to empower them through unity.
I like that. One of the most toxic things that I believe that I know. I really think that it's just a really weird culture. I mean, I really liked it when I did it. It was my first time actually actively participating in it. But Active Campaign Week shows the nitty-gritty, you know, real life, you know, the rawest moment of student government and how much, you know, people will actually put in to win and to actually get their name and get a vote. I think that from putting in election violations to every single thing to, you know, sleeping outside in your car just to get the first, you know, chance at Free Speech Alley to, you know, even the presidential debates that happen online.
Running a slander campaign. Oh no, wait, hold up. If you're getting a follow request from these random campaign accounts, that's literally just for you to hopefully just maybe follow them back to increase their follower count, because they're just trying to beat each other out and follow. That is the most toxic thing. Like, all my friends, because they stalk other campaigns' accounts to go through and follow their followers. They're stalking my personal friends and my family to go and press follow, and then my friends are asking me, ooh, what's this weird account? I'm like, I don't know, don't pay attention to it. That's toxic. I'm sorry, I'm just gonna say it.
But Sarah is right, though. I think that a lot of people and a lot of students, new students on campus, they think that it's all fun and games. It's, you know, you're advocating and you're expressing your beliefs for this, you know, amazing campaign, and, you know, we do it. Me and Sarah did it last year, and it was an amazing event to have. However, it was one of the most stressful, underrepresented things that I've ever done in my entire life, because it took so much toll on me to see what, you know, like actions people will take to bring and belittle other people down that only want to make the student life and just better.
Active Campaign Week is truly a point in time to meet with students and just have a nice conversation with them, but not use students and abuse their ignorance because they don't know what student government's actually about, and just teasing them with food and teasing them with slandering another campaign. The second you slander another campaign, you are belittling, and you are also belittling other students and just closing a door of opportunity that you really had to just stand up as the bigger person and just foster strong relationships on campus. And that's what my heart goes out to anyone running for student body president, vice president, is maintaining yourself during active campaign week, because although these students didn't go into running for these positions with that intention, it does come out during active campaign week and it's reflected within your administration. And it's time to just end that culture. And that's what I really love about Unity, is Unity's just doing their own thing. Like, they're not trying to steal Greek life votes. They're not trying to appease to the bigger picture. They're not trying. If anything, they're asking the other campaigns to have social mixers with them. Like, let's foster strong relationships. And other campaigns are turning them down. And I feel like that's just a true testament of, like, no, that's not why we're here on campus. We're literally here to be college students, not tear each other down.
And I think that another thing that a lot of people don't understand during active campaign week in general is that SG currently right now has Meet SG Mondays that the director of outreach actually corresponds. Why can't active campaign week, or why can't Meet SG Mondays be equivalent to active campaign week? Why can't these president or vice president during Meet SG Mondays, you know, come out there and actually support with, you know, outreach? And that's your job, that's your title, show your face. I think that, you know, the same, you know, effort that you put into that one long week to get elected is the same, you know,
effort that needs to be continued into your administration.
Yes.
Because what I see is, and I mean, and it's hard because I know people will look at what we just said about active campaign week and be like, well, you're not going to win. And it's kind of like, it's not about winning.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of like, I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, it's about serving the students, not giving into active campaign week and changing yourself to appease people. That's That's not what it is. Like, the truest form that you can have is just being able to show your originality.
Most definitely. I think that I'm a living testimony to that. I was on a whole different campaign than the one that is currently in the administration, and I knew that I wanted to make a difference, you know, no matter what. Same thing to you, Sarah. Like, kudos to you for actually, like, it's okay that our campaign did not win last year. However, we still wanted to make that difference. We still wanted to, you know, voice.
But then
our
on the
opinion.
flip side, on the flip side is, although our campaign didn't win, why were we not allowed to hold positions in student government to continue to serve the student body? Why were we turned down and basically said, no, like, your campaign didn't win, like, you suck?
I also think that another problem during active campaign week, but another problem that's right now, is that a lot of people subtweet a lot of different, you know, what ifs or this should have happened, where I think that, you know, the president currently right now, or, you know, the future president that will be in office, they have an open door policy. I understand that it, you know, you can easily say it, but to actually make others feel welcome, that they can actually, you know, come into your office and be a safe space. We've seen that multiple times, you know, where other people are pushing down people, belittling people on Twitter for what they're saying. You know, that's not the correct way to actually,
like,
you know,
I'm
go
sorry,
against it.
but if you're running a slander campaign, you've already dug yourself a grave.
Yes.
Like, and for your administration, because I don't understand how you're saying that you're going to serve the student body, yet you're taking other students down. And you can tell me, oh, well, that's what you have to do to win. No, like, that's not.
Yeah.
And that's what Unity's proving right now by existing and being a ticket, is that, like, no, you do not have to play into these games. You can be authentically yourself and still gather initiative and gather power and movement behind your initiatives.
Right.
It's not randomly signing up students to run college council who have no idea what student government is.
Right.
Because why else do you think we have 200 kids signed up this year? I mean, it's great, but they need to be educated. They can't just have their ignorance used against them, and they can't be manipulated and treated like sheep. Like, that's awful.
Yeah.
So my partner in crime had to check out. She had to go to another meeting for a club, another student organization on campus. So another thing that I really see being a big part of being student body president, vice president, that maybe the candidates aren't aware of, is their mental health. There's no denying the fact that being student body president and being student body vice president is an extremely emotional, taxing job, time taxing. You're going to have little time to spend with your family. You're going to have little time on your studies, little time to just be a student, because you are going to be dedicating all of your time to giving back to the student body. And I really challenge the candidates to dig deep and ask themselves, what is my day going to look like on December 1st of 2021 if I were elected? Am I going to be freaking out about finals, or am I going to be crumpling, or am I going to be able to say, wow, I have a very strong administration I've assembled, I can go off and take a few moments to be with myself, to be able to return to the student body. It's something that I really fear. I mean, I remember whenever I first talked to Preston and Amina, and I remember thinking, like, y'all are too good for this position. Like, I don't want you to have to go through that mentally taxing position or anything. But after talking to them, I realized they're actually going to be more in touch with the student body rather than running around trying to play into the game of convincing the board of supervisors to do something, telling the LSU system president to do something. That's not your job as president. Your job is to be there for the students. And I feel like if you do end up chasing these intangible goals, you're gonna crumple, and you're also your administration's gonna fall apart, because they're not gonna be able to see a strong leader. They're gonna see someone who's very stressed out, who can barely manage themselves, and who's falling apart because their initiatives aren't being won. Personal experience for being college council vice president this year, I feel like coronavirus really emphasized the importance of communication, and I do give leeway for the fact that, hey, we were all figuring out Zoom meetings back in June. There should be a whole college council committee created that we can talk to immediately. Like, if I need help with filing a receipt, I feel like I shouldn't have to email Hannah to do that. I feel like she's way too busy, but then I also don't know who else to email. So I feel like there should be a council or committee created to just help college council efficiency, but I do truly, after this year, I just see a very strong need for communication and a very strong need for being able to receive feedback. This semester we are receiving college council newsletter, which I am so happy for, because now I know what's going on in other college councils, and I get to see what members are spotlighted, why, like what initiatives other college councils are doing. But there's never a moment for us to really share our ideas. And there's also just, I don't know, thank God, Ag College Council has 2 full-time faculty members at LSU, staff members who work for us. And so we've been able to host various events across college, but they've been just ag-oriented when they really could have been campus-wide if I would have had proper leeway to communicate with SG. And I feel like what I'm feeling in College of Ag College Council is exactly what clubs across campus are feeling, that they are running outstanding events, yet they're only having 10 people show up. And perhaps that's because they needed more resources, more PR, more promotional help, more just help with finding relationships across campus to get that word out. And just, we have a lot of great things going on in campus, and I feel like there is a way that we can showcase it through student government that's attainable. Because from what I understand, just college council is told, hey, you're a counselor for a Zoom, we don't know if we're going to have funding this year, like, be creative with your project planning. But from what I hear, there's many people in executive staff that had no idea that was happening. And I also really question that if student government does have $100,000 in funding, why are we still having to host fundraisers for the emergency student fund when we can just fund that ourselves? And I understand saving money, hey, that's great, but why are we asking students to fund other students in need whenever we're not providing those funds ourselves? Just things like that really kind of ethically, I really challenge student government to think about, and student administrators to think about. So those are my thoughts. Want to stay informed and in touch? Be sure to tune into our website, unitybettertogether.com.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and support Unity.